podcast. I'm Marisa.
I'm Ariana.
And we're the Krolmeister sisters. As a reminder, this podcast is rated T for teen and for strong language and mature themes.
If you would like a podcast that doesn't have that stuff, then head over to her's very own podcast, Unlocked, where they talk to people about things. Who did they talk
And
to
stuff.
recently, Risa?
They talked to a voiceover artist from Haunting of Castle Malloy and The Captive Curse.
Mm-hmm.
Why I say voiceover artist is because he was additional voices.
Yes.
He also did the voice for Alan, the best man. But mostly
I
he was...
that next they interview the voice of Cuckoo.
Ariana? That's
What?
just Lottie Manella.
Oh shit, it is, isn't it? I was just...
Were you thinking it was just a parrot?
No, I was not. No, I was definitely not thinking that. I was just like, what's a random animal voice actor that they could... That was the first one that came to mind. Should have gone with Yuri. Let's move on from this topic.
So what are we talking about tonight, sister?
Tonight, we're going to talk about, really getting into these games that are so immersive and they pull us in.
Yeah, are the most immersive games. Someone on Abigail on, I'm just going for first name because I'm not going to say someone's last name, but Abigail on YouTube said, what if you guys talked about which game has the most interactive setting to explore? And we were thinking about that. And it just kind of morphed into the most immersive games. So that's kind of what we wanted, because the most interactive games just becomes like the ones that we feel like we can do the most with our environment. So most immersive games. So we came up with a few, and then we have some honorable mentions as well.
That just didn't quite make the cut.
Yeah, not quite. So the first one that came to my mind with immersive games, and even just interactive, just in general, is Secret of the Scarlet Hand. It has, to me, what makes it really immersive is, one, the sound design. We're going to talk a lot about sound design
apparently
in this
that's
episode.
really...
Ariana and I are really, we know a lot about sound design, so we did a lot of backstage theater work when we were younger. So the sound design in this show, in this game, I know what I'm talking about. I'm fine. In this game, it's really good. Especially every different place you go to has a different sound to it and has a different soundtrack as well, and that really helps. They even got, to me, what's really great about it is they got the lighting different in every part you go to. So in the main museum, they have those specific, it's like that yellowish lighting. That's nice for being out in the garden area. They have that nice dimmer lighting, and then down in the temple area they have, it's all moody. But then when you go back into the staff area, it's that fluorescent lighting. Right? So it's just, it's very immersive.
And then even in the packaging area, it's low wattage, and you almost feel like it's going to start flickering at some point, because it's this is just, packaging. Nobody really cares about this area, so we don't have to keep it up so well.
Exactly. And it's they went through the cement floors and everything in that packaging area too. It just, it feels like a real place.
Yeah.
And another thing that's really immersive about it is that it has a physical task list. You have to go to it, you cross everything out yourself, and everyone leaves you these Post-it notes. Which I know that in recent games, it makes more sense for people to text you and everything. But what I really enjoy about it is that it's people are leaving you notes at your desk.
Yeah.
And it definitely helps with the immersion.
Yeah. And I think it's really great that pretty much every prop in it, everything that you can interact with it's not everything has a purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's yes, they put things all around the museum, but you have to know these facts in order to progress through the game.
Yeah.
And yes, they put it's not you know, being able to skip over the whole Trail of Tears section of Paw's little museum.
Yeah. Another thing is every single time you enter the museum, you take out your keys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
there's something really
an annoying little detail, but it's still a little detail that's like,
it's really nice, to be honest. Another thing, like when we're talking about like props, the fact that we can't take the Tzolk'in with us everywhere.
We're limited.
You can only take it with you. She only lets you take it from where you are right to where you're going.
She immediately begins telling you she can't take it much further.
Yeah. And then if you try to go anywhere else with it, she'll drop it and break it.
Yeah.
And that helps because the idea of being able to just fit everything in your purse, it definitely breaks suspension of disbelief. In a lot of games where you're just like, yeah, I'm just going to pick up, you know, this gigantic thing and keep it in my pocket. You know, that's fine. I'll just do that. That's the exact same thing we were making fun of in the video that we made many years ago, where I put an entire, like, RC just like the remote control and just shoved it in my purse and then, you know. So, it's nice to have that little bit of, I can't hold this for forever.
It's like, I may have, like, a Mary Poppins bag, but, you know, this is a little much.
It's not completely endless.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And, the puzzles, the actual puzzles, they make physical sense.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not those puzzles where you're like, I don't understand how this would trigger anything to happen.
Yeah.
What are these gears for? It's all very, you know, it's a keyhole. It's a, you know, aside from the, that stupid ball game where physics don't count, everything is like grounded.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's Secret of the Scarlet Hand. That's why we think that one's immersive.
Yeah.
So the next one was Secret of Shadow Ranch. I think what they did a really good job of making the set design really good. It's it really makes you feel like you're there, which we've talked about before. But they did a really good job of everything there just feeling dry and hot. Of just everything you look at puts you there.
You hear, like, brushes creaking in the wind.
Exactly.
And so you know that they're dry. And so it's like,
okay. Sound design. It's really good. Especially in, like, the Trail Stop and Cougar Bend have really good, like, they have, like, this wind whistling through, like, brush kind of sound effect. Same thing at, like, at Dry Creek. You hear it happening, and it's really, really nice. And there's, like, I think there's, like, that hawk sound.
Yeah.
There's the red-tail hawk sound effect. At some point, I think that's specifically in
Cougar Bend.
It's Cougar Bend, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, it's just perfect.
It is. It's good.
It is. It's perfect. And especially with that, the guitar that happens in in Dry Creek. I love that, like
the twanging.
Yeah. I absolutely love that.
And that's another great part of it is the music design going with it. And I know you were talking about, but like they made sure to even like have the guitars, the strings are so loosened that you can hear them bouncing.
Yeah.
And that makes it feel more spaghetti western. So you're very like, all right, there's something about this ghost town. I'm sauntering in. I feel like there could be somebody over my shoulder at any moment. And it really feeds into it really nicely. It's good.
Really does. The twang, it really works.
It's great.
Another that I really like about it is another thing I really like about it. We complain about it a lot. Yeah. The chores, we complain about them, but they really do actually help with the immersion. Because what they do is that they really help you. I can't go anywhere until I do these chores. And it definitely helps put you in the place. That's not like a puzzle that takes you out of the game or out of the setting. It's a task that puts you in the setting. It's I can't go ride my horse until I do my chores. And that's like a logical thing to happen.
That's like a logical reward. That's not, okay, make drinks for me and then I'll tell you what you want to know, you know?
Beat me at Scram and then I'll, like...
It's like, this is arbitrary. I want you to go pick all the ripe vegetables and I want you to get some eggs for dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm on it.
Yeah, bake the cake for Tex so that we can have it tonight at the campfire.
And then you can go riding on the horse, which is a reward for it. As far as they're concerned, as opposed to, beat me at Scram and I'll give you this information that you want. It's like...
That's not logical.
This is stupid. This is a waste of my fucking time. Give me the information, child.
And, like someone in the chat just pointed out as well, putting the saddle back every time also helps. Because you can't just walk around with the saddle because she says it's too heavy. She can't just walk around with it. And having to go get the saddle every time, again, it helps with the immersion. It can be really irritating. Like, in a gameplay, like, if you're just playing it, like, trying to play it fast, which, you know, all of us have tried at some point to just be like, I'm just going to play this. I want to get to a certain part, right? It can be annoying. But actually, like, just on a nice gameplay standpoint, it's really, it helps. Because it's like, I have to go and get it every single time. And that would make sense to do.
And it keeps you in the game because you're not just, like, leaving the saddle on Bob. So you have to always be like, okay, if I want to do this, then I have to do this.
Yeah.
So it's not just, like, a function where you just, you know, click and then suddenly, oh, there you are on the horse. And it's easy as that, you know?
And also, it keeps you going back into the room where the saddle is to talk to Tex and everything,
and to see things on the ground. And you know?
it helps you progress the story as well. So that was just all in all, good game design.
Good game design. Good.
I mean,
keeping the story streamlined.
Exactly. I mean, you know, it's a 14 out of 15 game for me. So
great. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah. So yeah.
So if we're done gushing about that one...
Yeah, we are.
Let's move on to another one that we're going to just gush over.
Yeah.
This is our positive podcast episode.
It is!
This is the Posicast.
Posicast.
Yes. The next one is Danger on Deception Island, which we understand that it's not necessarily the best written game. But man, do you get pulled into it.
Yeah, like, logically speaking, this game makes absolutely zero sense.
No sense.
And we completely agree with that.
Yes.
However, having to, like, remember to put on your helmet and having to put on your life vest and stuff, like, that's, first of all, it's cute.
That is adorable.
Like, the little PSA in the middle of, like, if you don't put on your helmet, you're gonna...
It's so good.
It's like... You won't die from jumping between wet stones. You'll just get a concussion. But if you try to bike without your helmet, you will immediately die.
You will be on the front page.
Immediately dead. Front page next to the zucchini toss. But
still. Yeah. No, it's really...
But still...
No, but yeah. That's another one where sound design is just wonderfully used. It's very atmospheric. It pulls you in when you get the cafe noises of the party in the back room. And I think I said this in an Ariana Ranks video that I didn't actually end up finishing. But you can, like, feel the wood creaking underneath you in the cafe. Yeah. Like, it's soaked up all the salty air, and, you know, it's great.
The fact that, like, all of the beach sound effects are really good. Mm-hmm. That they went into, they got the ocean sound, the ocean spray, the seagull sounds, when you're on the boat sounds,
the shovel
when you're out
sounds.
Kayaking. Yeah.
It's literally small detail,
the sand,
but, like...
the sand when you're finding the clams, the kayaking sounds, all of it. It's just, it's good. It's it's just, I'm sorry, it's good.
It is. It's great. And it's another one where the music is very nice, and it's not necessarily so much it keeps you in the mood of the game. So it's not like the previous ones we've talked about where, you know, each song drew you into an environment, because basically the entirety of the Danger Deception Island soundtrack is like keeping everybody in the sea shanty mood. Yeah, that's what everything is. There's like some like da 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 stuff, but for the most part, it's ba 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 ba. Like
that's the jig one.
That's the jig. But yeah, it's
that one literally gets stuck in my head. Just I'll wake up and it'll be in my head all day long.
I have urges to make it my ringtone sometimes.
You know what? Do it.
Yeah, right.
And also eating. I like that you can order different things on the menu.
Yes. Yeah, it's great. There's a wide variety on the menu. I will always order the clam chowder, but there's a variety of things you can get.
And the fact that there are a variety of things you can get, like, that really helps. Instead of it just being, yep, I serve clam chowder. And I somehow stay in business. That's all I serve. As opposed to all the weird stuff they serve on, what's the Wickford Castle menu? And you're like, what does any of this mean? How do you serve any of this food to people? That breaks the suspension of disbelief, I'm telling you. Broccoli surprise? No one's buying that.
No.
You can just get the clam chowder and muffin, I think. We're just talking about the others, that you can look at the other stuff on the menu.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So that's Danger on Deception Island. Again, we know that the entire, the whole story makes no sense. However, the environment itself, that's immersive.
And a shout out to the people who, you know, were in charge of the weather effects, because, you know, that fog was...
It really is good.
Really great. It wasn't just like pixelation. It was very nicely like...
It feels like fog.
Yeah. It feels like fog. You can feel it on your cheeks.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, now I'm done with it.
Now you're done with it. Okay. Next one.
And next is Legend of the Crystal Skull, which also you can eat in. So apparently that's a requirement for me to make it feel immersive.
Apparently.
Yeah, because you can also eat cake in Shadow Ranch.
Scarlet Hand you can't eat.
You can't eat cookies.
I
don't know. I didn't do it.
Do you?
I tried. I stayed away from.
I don't think I've ever tried to eat the cookies. Now I don't know. I don't know. There is a
never
cookie.
Know, because we'll never play it ever again.
But again, sound design for Legend of the Crystal Skull. The constant rain sound effect.
Oh, it's so nice.
That really helps the entire, and the fact that it's so muted when you're inside the house, and then when you're outside the house, it's louder.
You hear it so loudly on the pavement. It's just like,
that's so lovely.
It's great.
That I love that they took that they took the time to make that detail. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I love the detail of, I mean, there are a lot of details in this game that I really love.
Yeah.
When everything's wet outside, the way the light shines on it.
Yeah.
Is nice. I like wet pavement. It's just one of those things.
Going back to the sound design, when you go from place to place in the cemetery, you hear the tapping of her shoes on the wet pavement, and it's just like,
and not only
so
is it
nice.
is it shoes on pavement, it's shoes on wet pavement, which is a very different sound. So again, the person who did the sound design for like this little bit of games, because all of these games are the same person. We liked this sound designer.
We liked this sound designer. Big fan. It wasn't just throw some sheep sounds in. Guess what? Are you in New Zealand or are you in Ireland?
Who knows? But this one, and then there's a lot of good... Aren't there also, like, street noises? When, like, people noises when you're on the street
when
with Bess.
when you're with Bess, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You hear all the people and everything, like, crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean.
Yes, no, yeah, you can hear people walking along the streets, and you can hear them chatting and going into shops. Yeah. Oh my god, that curio shop is something else, because that is talk about interactive. Like, you just click on everything. We clicked on that mummified alien baby thing the first time, and we jumped. It helps that it was a rainy day.
Yes.
That was really...
The fact that we played that game for the first time on a stormy day definitely helped, I feel, like, cement our feeling of the immersion.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, yes, dark, stormy day. Dark, stormy game. This is, like, perfect.
We understand.
Yeah.
Go on.
So, definitely. Everything in the curio shop, it's like... With the curio shop, you walk in, and it's like, it feels dusty.
Mm-hmm.
You
start getting an allergy attack from it.
Yeah. Just from how everything looks. They did a really good job on set design in there. I mean, the puzzles in there are awful. They're terrible. I hate
They're bad. They're not based in physics. They're just dumb. But
yeah. But that's good. Same within the little the place where the skee ball is, you know, the little attic area.
Attic thing, yeah.
Again, like, you go into that area and it feels dusty.
It feels dusty, and it feels like
cobwebs.
That area, you feel the cobwebs. You can tell that it's just the area where things were just shoved.
Yeah.
And so you feel like the tightness of trying to walk around up there. And also, I love the rolling eyeball sounds that we get so often in the game. And it's always very different, like, sounds, because they're different materials of eyeball and different materials of what they're in. And
yeah, it's true. Rolling eyeball sounds.
Rolling eyeball
you, Ariana.
sounds.
Exactly.
Ariana would be the one to notice rolling eyeballs.
True shit. But that's our game list. We have 2 honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
And I can now tell why they're honorable mentions.
Yes.
It's because the sound design just isn't quite... It isn't quite there. And the first one is Shadow at the Water's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
Where I feel like the only place where the sound design is just perfect is in the garden area of the Ryokan.
Yeah, that's really nice.
That's really good sound design right there.
But even then, I'm never 100% sure about how it's designed and everything like that. It's all very... It's just a set. It feels like a set. It's a very wonderful set to be in. It feels like you're walking around a playground, like you're in some kind of, like, theme park, you know,
it just doesn't feel like a real place.
It doesn't.
Because the thing is like, when you're at the expo and everything, you hear all these people... But where you are in the expo to hear all of those people, you should be able to see people, and you can't.
It feels like one of those lines at Disneyland where there's all this stuff going on, and they have, like, noises coming from behind doors when you're going through a line. But when it's empty, and so it's just, you can hear all these noises going on around you. It doesn't feel immersive anymore. It feels like you're trapped.
The other thing about Shadow at Water's Edge that kind of takes me out of it is that they have the mix of the soundtrack just in the default is too high. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if I went in and I turned the music down when I played, it would work better. It would be a little better, but they just have the soundtrack too high, and it covers up the other sounds.
I am all about that loud ass pachinko parlor music.
I mean, I love
in the middle of like,
I'm like in the Ryokan. I'm in the Ryokan, and then suddenly the pachinko music is playing, and I'm like,
I am not only in the Ryokan,
I am trying to solve a gigantic nonogram
like, I'm
in a very creepy area. This is not the correct music to be playing.
This is the abandoned part of the Ryokan that looks like fucking ruins.
Like, I'm like, this is taking me out of this a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like it would help a lot if they
triggered.
changed the music was specific to locations.
Instead of just randomized.
if the locations were, certain locations didn't have music. Like, I feel like in that area where we are, when we're in that abandoned bathroom area, what would be really nice if it was just, like, the creepy sounds. Something like that. Or, like, the, like, slight running water, trickling water sounds. And, like, maybe, like, some, like, slower music. Maybe would have worked. But randomly getting the pachinko music is just off-putting.
It really is. It's a mood killer.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
And then, similarly, if I'm allowed to move on.
Yeah.
Similarly, Sea of Darkness. It's a very pretty game. It has a lot of very great music in it.
I want to say that the sound design is really, really good in Sea of Darkness.
Yeah,
so I want to say that. The sound design is amazing. The sound of the water, the creaking ice sounds are
just
amazing.
Like constantly,
The creaking boat sounds are fantastic, with specifically when you're on the boat and you're hearing the creaking wood with the ocean sounds. That is fantastic. However, what really breaks the immersion for me in Sea of Darkness are the game mechanics. The game mechanics and the constant talking to the audience.
Yeah. It's also... So you know how what I liked about Secret of the Scarlet Hand was that you could interact with everything and everything had a point?
Yeah.
There are large stretches of walking through areas and it makes the world bigger, but there's no point. And so during that walk from the ship all the way to the other end of the dock, just so that I can go a little bit further to go talk to fucking, what's-her-face, Dagny. There we go.
Yeah.
You know, that between those 2 points, I'm out of the game. I'm done. I'm just clicking.
Yeah,
all
it's
I can
like
hear
there's
is
just
my
that
clicking.
it's that one area you can look at where that hook was, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then once you grab the hook and look at the thing that's there, this entire stretch of dock between the Misty Skip now. The Misty Skip and the I'm not going to say the name correctly of the boat. That's all just useless.
Yeah.
That's just clicking. And every single one of the puzzles is useless to me. I enjoy some of the puzzles. I enjoy doing some of the puzzles.
I love that dog toy puzzle.
But they are not... They break my immersion from the game.
Yeah.
They take me out of the game world. And they make me remember I'm playing a game. Because I'm not doing anything that makes any real world sense. Or any sense really within the game world.
And just because you wink at it and say, well,
if you
why
say,
is it...
this isn't how electrical things work, wink wink, that doesn't make me feel any better about why I'm doing this.
No.
That actually just makes it calls attention to the fact that you're breaking my immersion.
Yeah.
So...
You're not Deadpool. It's not working.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, A+ sound
Great
design
game.
and music.
Just, you know. Yeah.
But it just breaks the immersion. So it's very close, but the gameplay itself...
Yeah, because these got great characters that just... They're a little over the top, but like at the same time...
They're more like people than a lot of the other ones have been.
Yeah.
Like, in the last few... games towards the end, I think Sea of Darkness has the most, like, actual people characters.
Yeah.
Like, they are the most lifelike characters for a little bit. And I'm kind of including, like, Ghost of Thornton Hall in that, because they are very caricature.
Yeah.
But, whereas, like, I've met a Gunnar. I've met an Elizabeth. I've definitely met many Dagnys.
Right. So many Dagnys.
And I've met Sorens. Like, I've met people like that.
A slew of Sorens.
Yeah, sadly. They find us.
They do. They just find us.
They really like us. But, you know. But yeah. So, The people themselves help it. The sound design helps it. A lot of the set really help it, but the gameplay itself just breaks it. So that's why it's honorable mention.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are what we think are the most immersive and interactive games. If you guys think we missed a few, then please let us know on our
Then you're
YouTube.
wrong. Sorry.
I mean, we might have missed some. I don't know. But these are the ones we think. But let us know on our YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, or our fancy website, krolmeistersisters.knifefightclub.com.
You can also find us on Apple Podcasts? No.
Yeah, iTunes is being shut down, so don't find us on iTunes.
Yeah, you're not finding us on
Apple
iTunes
Podcasts.
no more. Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and Spotify. Yeah, and on those places, I did good. I did good, sister.
Yeah.
I did good. You can leave us comments and reviews and let us know, how much you love us.
Yeah, tell us you love us. Give us validation.
Validate me. I'm not talking here for nothing.
You can also subscribe to us on Twitch to get access to our cute little wine glass emote, which has been updated so you can see it on nighttime mode. Finally.
Were you not able to before?
No.
Oh, no.
So you can do that now. And, or you could support us on Twitch. No, Patreon.
There we
the other
go.
one.
Uh-oh.
Support us on Patreon to get access to Podcast Night VODs and, pictures of Streamcat that not even our mom gets to see. So, as a reminder, I'm Risa.
I'm Ariana.
And we're the Krolmeister sisters. And we're asking you guys to stay sleuthy.